Ladies and gentlemen, please help me greet warmly none other than Mr. Bill Eddy. Bill, you got the floor.
Thank you, Ricardo. I've worked for years with children, families. I've been a therapist, I've been a lawyer, been a mediator, and there's a lot of people really struggling, and I want to share a lot of what I've learned and also methods I've developed to make it easy for people to practice solving conflicts, getting along, and helping their kids.
What brought you to do what you do?
I was a therapist for 12 years, and I liked working with children and parents, but I liked conflict resolution, and I wanted to do a career in conflict resolution. I decided that I wanted to be a mediator, but that the best training I could get would be to go to law school. But while I was in law school, I decided I should practice law for 2 years in family court, so I'd know what I'm talking about. Well, I actually went to family court for 15 years.
Oh, wow.
While also doing mediation in the afternoon. I go to court in the morning, mediation in the afternoon. But what I realized is that the difference wasn't the issues, it was the personalities. I go to court in the morning and people would be fighting over parenting schedule, child support, property division for months or years. I go back to my office, do mediation. In 2 or 3 or 4 sessions, they do the whole thing. And I realized I need to educate people that people with high conflict personalities don't have the skills to calm things down. So they make things bigger and they fight and fight and fight. And so I wanted to learn ways to help them. So I developed methods for managing high conflict families in mediation so they don't end up in court as much as possible. But I also train judges how to manage people in the courtroom. So when they leave the courtroom, they're less angry instead of more angry. That's how I got into the educational part. I started writing books, and then they asked me to give seminars, and it just grew and grew because it's so relevant today.
Oh, you became a master at it.
I always think that I'm a student of high conflict rather than a master of high conflict. After about 30 years of dealing with people mostly getting divorced, what I found is people weren't understanding high conflict situations, and so they were trying to do things that don't work very well in those situations. So I started developing methods, what I call BIF for writing emails to calm things down, ear statements to help people calm upset people in the moment. And so these simple skills help people solve problems, and I want to spread that to as many people as possible.
What developed in this symposium, to your opinion?
To me, what was interesting, and I think to everyone else, was how interconnected the generations are. And so my focus has mostly been on divorcing parents, but I think in this conference we talked more about ways to communicate with the children and help them through this process, but also ways to deal with grandparents, to help them as they're dealing with their own lives, with getting older, needing more assistance, and helping families solve conflicts together. But I think the general public needs this information now. So I think the next step is how can we educate the general public? And sad to say, I think over the last 10 years that the general public has less and less conflict resolution skills, that conflict is getting heated up, that leaders, politicians, people in celebrity positions, all of that are adding to conflict rather than teaching people how they can solve conflict. So I think parents are under more stress than ever, and I think kids are under more stress than ever. There's some research that says kids today are more anxious than kids in psychiatric treatment 40 years ago.
Prevention is the key.
Prevention is key. And one thing that I try to teach parents is what are the best parenting methods? And the top 3 methods they came up with, first of all, love and affection for your child. That's obvious. You know, you want your child to just feel like you love them so much. The second most important parenting skill is managing the parent's own stress. The child can see, my mom can handle this. My dad's doing okay. And so I can just be a kid. So I used to do family counseling, and I'd see a young child patting their mom, say, it'll be okay, Mom. And that's not good. It's good for parents to get support, get methods of managing their own stress. And the third skill is showing the child healthy adult relationships and how healthy relationships interact. When people are going through divorce, they're often so stressed, they're just angry and upset. But even if they're upset with their former partner, they should show their child how they get along with their friends, how they get along in making decisions. You know, let's go to a movie tonight, or let's have pizza, and how healthy adults get along when they're happy. Kids need to see happy adults.
Shouldn't we be educating our children about peer mediation, conflict resolution at a very early age in school so that they learn to deal with problems?
Yes, we should be teaching mediation skills to kids, high school kids, how to mediate disputes. It's really good training for adult life. So yes, we should be teaching that at all these ages. One thing I taught in the seminar was about the right and left brain. And while there's a lot of overlap, there's two different styles, and the right brain seems to be where we go into defensiveness and protectiveness, and the left brain's more problem solving. So what I've learned is when people are getting agitated is I need to turn that off and then focus them on problem solving. I stop the adversarial behavior and keep them busy doing problem solving behavior. And they thank me for it at the end. They go, I've had people say, thank you for stopping us from acting like 3-year-olds. Because then they're very productive and they're proud of what they come out with. So I pay a lot of attention to how the conversation's going, and I don't let anger escalate. What people don't realize is human beings mirror each other's emotions. So if you're getting real angry, I'm going to feel like getting angry too. But if I know that and I tell myself, stay calm, Bill, and I stay calm, you mirror me and you become calmer.
Is there anything you would like to add?
Well, let me add a little bit. I developed a program for this called New Ways for Families, and it teaches skills of managing your own emotions, skills of how to email without getting angry, skills of making proposals to solve problems. And so I developed this in my institute, High Conflict Institute. We developed it as a counseling program. We developed it as a class. We developed it as an online program. So anybody can get it anywhere. It's designed for separating and divorcing people, and they can get these tools, and parents like getting these skills, and then they teach them to their kids. newwaysforfamilies.com is where people can find out.
Newwaysforfamily.com.
Yeah.
They could go on your site.
They go to our site, they can take our online class, they can take it, it's designed as 12 sessions. If both parents take it, then they learn the same skills and they teach the kids the same skills. And the skills, 4 big skills for life. Flexible thinking, not all or nothing thinking. Managed emotions, not unmanaged emotions. Moderate behavior, not extreme behavior. And checking yourself, not blaming others.
And is that something that they have to pay per session, or it's a package deal?
It's a package, yeah. And so So if they go online now, it's $149
For the full package.
for the 12 sessions, which is like $10 a session.
It's a lot cheaper than going to court.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a pleasure to know you.
All right.
Thank you so much to have been part of this
Sure,
symposium.
my pleasure.
And to have allowed us to interview you now.
Sure. Thank you for putting it all on.
Well.